The space of the bough of any one of you in paradise is better than all that the sun rises upon. It is sparkling light, aromatic plants, a lofty palace, a flowing river, ripe fruit, a beautiful wife and abundant clothing, in an eternal abode of radiant joy, in beautiful soundly constructed high houses. When those deserving of paradise would enter paradise, the blessed and the exalted would ask, "Do you wish me to give you anything more?" They would say, "Hast thou not brightened our faces? Hast thou not made us enter paradise, and saved us from fire?" He would lift the veil, and of things given to them nothing would be dearer to them than the sight of their Lord, the mighty and the glorious. Resentment among them, their hearts will be as one, and they will glorify God, morning and evening. Beware of injustice, for oppression will be darkness on the day of resurrection, and beware of stinginess because it doomed those who were before you. It incited them to shed blood, and treat the unlawful as lawful. The first thing which will be judged among a man's deeds on the day of resurrection is the prayer. If this is in good order, then he will succeed and prosper, but if it is defective, then he will fail, and will be a loser. Whoever wishes to be delivered from the fire and enter the garden should die with faith in God and the last day, and should treat the people as he wishes to be treated by them. There are many doors to goodness, saying, "Glory to God, praise be to God, there is no deity but God," enjoining good, forbidding evil, removing harm from the road, listening to the deaf, until you understand them, leading the blind, guiding one to the object of his need, hurrying with the strength of one's legs to one in sorrow, who is asking for help, and supporting the weak with the strength of one's arms. All of these are forms of charity prescribed for you. A man asked Muhammad what was the mark whereby he might know the reality of his faith. Muhammad said, "If thou derive pleasure from the good which thou hast performed, and thou be grieved for the evil which thou hast committed, thou art a true believer." The man said, "In what doth a fault really consist?" Muhammad said, "When action pricketh thy conscience, forsake it. Do good deeds properly, sincerely and moderately, and know that your deeds will not make you enter paradise, and that the most beloved deed to us is the most regular and constant even though it were little. Anybody who believes in Allah and the last day should not harm his neighbor, and should entertain his guest generously. No child can repay his father unless he finds him enslaved, and then buys him and sets him free. A space in paradise equivalent to the size of a foot would be better than the world and what is in it. Whoever loves to meet God, God loves to meet him. If you rely on God as he ought to be relied upon, he will provide you as he provides the birds. They go out empty and hungry in the morning, and come back big-bellied at eventide. Anyone who has property that exceed his needs, let him support someone whose property does not meet his or her needs, and anyone whose food exceeds his needs, let him share it with someone who does not have food. It is not within the character of a believer to curse, to damn, to speak or act improperly. He is not of us who is not affectionate to the little ones, and does not respect the old, and he is not of us who does not order which is lawful, and prohibits that which is unlawful. Fear the pleading prayer of a wronged one, for there is no veil between it and Allah. The most miserable man in the world of those meant for paradise will be dipped once in paradise. Then he will be asked, "Son of Adam, did you ever face any misery? Did you ever experience any hardship?" So he will say, "No, by God, O Lord, I never faced any misery, and I never experienced any hardship." Whoever believes in Allah and the last day, let him say something good or keep quiet. If any Muslim plants any plant in a human being, or an animal eats of it, he will be rewarded as if he had given that much in charity. Whoever prays 12 rakats during the night and day, a house will be built for him in paradise, 4 before Dahr, and 2 after, 2 rakats after Maghrib, 2 rakats after Isha, and 2 rakats before Fajr prayer. Who is the most favored of God? He from whom the greatest good comes to his creatures. Every raindrop that falls is accompanied by an angel, for even a raindrop is a manifestation of being. The worst of guardians is a cruel ruler. Beware of becoming one of them. He who wisheth to enter paradise at the best door must please his father and mother. All mankind is from Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor a non-Arab has any superiority over an Arab. Learn that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that the Muslims constitute one brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim, unless it was given freely and willingly. Do not therefore do injustice to yourselves. In paradise there are things which no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no human mind has thought of. I have not been sent to curse people, but as a mercy to all mankind. Heaven lieth at the feet of mothers. Verily, God is compassionate and is fond of compassion, and he gives to the compassionate what he does not give to the harsh. There is a polish for everything that takes away rust, and the polish for the heart is the remembrance of God. If anyone travels on a road in search of knowledge, Allah will cause him to travel on one of the roads of paradise. Allah, God, is the greatest friend. Women are the twin halves of men. A good deed done to an animal is as meritorious as a good deed done to a human being, while an act of cruelty to an animal is as bad as an act of cruelty to a human being. Do not think little of any good deed, even if it is just greeting your brother with a smile. The best gift from a father to his child is education and upbringing. Riches does not mean having a great amount of property, but riches is self-contentment. Religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens himself in his religion will not be able to continue in that way. So you should not be extremists, but try to be near to perfection and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded, and gain strength by worshipping in the mornings. The nights. God enjoins you to treat women well, for they are your mothers, daughters, aunts. The strong is not the one who is physically powerful, but indeed, the one who controls himself when angry. The greatest of wealth is the richness of the soul. Happy are those who find fault with themselves instead of finding fault with others. It is better to sit alone than in company with the bad, and it is better still to sit with the good than alone. It is better to speak to a seeker of knowledge than to remain silent, but silence is better than idle words. Even a smile can be charity. Conduct yourself in this world as if you are here to stay forever, and yet prepare for eternity as if you are to die tomorrow. You will not enter paradise until you have faith, and you will not complete your faith until you love one another. Say the truth even if it may be bitter. Wisdom and power follow endurance and patience. The best jihad is to speak a word of justice to an oppressive ruler. Patience is the key to content. Do not tell me how educated you are. Tell me how much you have traveled, and I will know how educated you are. When something weighs on your conscience, give it up. If you do not feel ashamed of anything, then you can do whatever you like. Strive always to excel in virtue and truth. Do you love your Creator? Love your fellow beings first. Contemplation for an hour is better than formal worship for 60 years. More harm is done by fools through foolishness than is done by evildoers through wickedness. Be persistent in good actions. The best gift from a father to his child is education and upbringing. The most excellent jihad is that for the conquest of self. Speak to people according to the development of their consciousness, for if you speak all things to all people, some cannot understand you and so fall into errors. The strong person is not the one who can wrestle someone else down. The strong person is the one who can control himself when he is angry. The seeking of knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. The best of the houses is the house where an orphan gets love and kindness. A good man treats women with honor. God does not look at your forms and possessions, but he looks at your hearts and your deeds. Tell people of glad tidings and do not push them away. He is not a true believer who eats his fill while his neighbor is hungry. Seek knowledge from cradle to grave. You do not do evil to those who do evil to you, but you deal with them with forgiveness and kindness. The best among you is the one who doesn't harm others with his tongue and hands. The best among you are those who have the best manners and character. Be kind, for whenever kindness becomes a part of something, it beautifies it. Whenever it is taken from something, it leaves it tarnished. Riches are not from an abundance of worldly good but from a contented mind. No two things have been combined better than knowledge and patience. Strive always to excel in virtue and truth. What has reached you was never meant to miss you, and what has missed you was never meant to reach you. A kind word is a form of charity. The worldly comforts are not for me. I am like a traveler, who takes a rest under a tree in a shade, and then goes on his way. However much the faith of a man increases, his regard for women increases. Speak good or remain silent. A believer does not slander, curse, or speak in an obscene or foul manner. Feed the hungry and visit a sick person, and free the captive, if he is unjustly confined. Assist any person oppressed, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. A white has no superiority over a black, nor a black has any superiority over a white except by piety and good actions. When you see a person who has been given more than you, in money and beauty, look to those who have been given less. Make things easy for people and not difficult. Give people good news and bring them joy, and do not turn them away. If you disclose your alms, even then it is well done. But if you keep them secret, and give them to the poor, then that is better still for you, and this wipes off from you some of your evil deeds. Invoke the mercy of God, and as milk returns, not to the udder, go not back to your wrongdoing. Have compassion on yourself, and on others, and infinite compassion will be given to you. In the name of Allah, all merciful, all compassionate, bestow on me a mercy that shall put me beyond the need of mercy from any other than thee. Every day of Ramadan Allah beautifies Jannah, and says, soon my righteous servants will finish their work, and will rest in you. On the last night of Ramadan Allah forgives the sins of his servants. They asked, is the last night Laylatul Qadr? He said, no, but the worker is paid when he finishes his work. Don't forget to share and subscribe if you want us to share more interesting quotes and videos.